All right. The Gloomwood update. So I'm very excited about this. I'll do a new game though from scratch. Uh like the other billion times I've done this game. Okay, so as I said, I have played this game up to the new stuff that is the Old Town or High Town. So if you haven't heard of this game, this is Gloomwood. It's my favorite New Blood game, and it's not even fully out yet. Yeah, so I love this game. So that's another thing, is I'm just doing this instinctively. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to like hide through here as like a tutorial, as a way to hide. But what I usually just do is I just jump over that ledge and just immediately sneak upstairs. Which I could still do, but like, you know. See, I'm gonna be just demolishing this game up until like, you know, like the update stuff where it's gonna be my first reaction to all this cool stuff from this game I love. But in the meantime, I feel like I should take the opportunity to talk about the Stranger Things, because you know the finale came out. I watched that. So what did I think? Well, I thought it was okay, but I also understand why people are disappointed. But I also have a much different view of the series than I think a lot of people do. In that I'm team. It should have been like an anthology or something, because I feel like. I know people are petitioning for like a bunch of cut footage to be restored and like a rewrite of the final season, but the issue is it just is like Stranger Things was always a series where there was too many cool components that kind of got in the way of a like greater machine. Like nobody really wanted Steve dead. Vecna was really cool, but in the grand scheme of things, the show probably would have been better if they kept the Upside Down like hyper mysterious and not had like 50 billion characters. But they were good characters, so an anthology series where you could, like, you know, have Vecna in his own thing, where he's Steve, Robin, and Eddie are all like kind of a mystery-solving gang that has to deal with his stuff. It's one of those series where it's like I know it was like super popular, and I liked it a lot, and I thought it was fine, but I also like it got elevated far too much with the weight and all that, and all like the promises. It was like, this is going to be the craziest season ever, there's going to be a billion things happening, and then at the end it just kind of goes exactly how you thought it would. With the only real exception being, I guess spoilers. The character everyone thought was going to die probably didn't. See, I think it's just a major issue is that, like, also with the main four, like, of all the characters, Mike kind of gets thrown to the side completely by the end of it. Like, he doesn't really do anything, and that's an issue a lot, where it's like you have 90 characters all sitting in a room, and only 2 of them are useful. Nancy and Dustin are like the only 2 people who are... Oh my god, the hell. That's funny. So as I was saying, Nancy and Dustin are like the only 2 useful members of the crew, and Hopper. Hell, that was an issue as well. Is like I thought the beginning of season 5 was kind of cool, where it was like, okay, like everyone's kind of created an organization for this. Everyone has like plans now, but then the season just kind of kept being, oh, we have plans now, like, and it was also like, oh, Hopper's the only one that can really do anything. Hopper's the only one capable of doing anything. So they have to just keep... It's 80 people and then 1 person who can actually go to the Upside Down. Yeah, like, clearly wasn't planned beyond the first season. The first season is great. I love the first season. I think it's a really effective mystery. But then you have the finale where it's, like, supposed to... As I said, it's cool concepts being introduced that, like, really would probably thrive in, like, an anthology type thing. Vecna's really cool, but he takes away so much mystery from the Upside Down, because now it's, like... a guy walking around. The Demogorgons are kind of, well, I guess they never really get explained. If anything, like it's according to the creators, that like the reason why there wasn't a giant army was because Vecna was like cocky and was like, they weren't expecting to be attacked on their home turf, even though he had like you know, Will present every time they were planned. I would have more accepted that like the Demogorgons are a limited resource, and the 3 that were killed were just it. The real reason is, because you saw those things ripping apart army guys, you can't have characters like Will in the abyss with an army of demogorgons, because again, only Nancy is really capable of doing any damage whatsoever. So yeah, you just can't have like a giant demo army. And I don't even know what the hell happened to the bats. The bats just kind of go away because there's like, again, it's too dangerous for the main characters. But again, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're able to balance this stuff out as... This game is... Listen, I was playing this game earlier. This wasn't happening earlier. All this like jank hasn't been happening. It's very strange. One issue is like there's a lot of better endings out there, but I think a lot of them comes down to the fact that they just know when to end. Like Mob Psycho is a really good example of that. It's just Mob Psycho is amazing. I love Mob Psycho. And in a similar problem, One Punch Man is just completely, it sucks his own dick too much, and it sucks. It ruins its own joke. It doesn't really work nearly as well as Mob does. Mob ends the giant villain organization arc like in the second season, and then the third season is just about wrapping up all the likable character arcs, and it's perfect. It's great. It's able to answer like what little questions there are left. It's able to give everything a satisfying conclusion, and it doesn't play Kate Bush 14 times in a row. That's another issue, is that like I thought that was a cool scene, but like, oh my god, you shouldn't have done that multiple times in the season 5. Like, have that come back at the very end of season 5 as like a callback. The fact that it like happens at the beginning of Max's story and then comes back later after they have like a 15-minute monologue where Max is about to leave, just leave Holly there before they conveniently found a way for both of them to get out fine. So yeah, I'm just casually doing all this while I'm like talking, but that is the thing you can do is the Nerf gun shoots like buttons, and you can shoot out lights too, which I might need because I am a little bit exposed right now. But yeah, that's another thing, is like, hey, you know, in another universe, do season 4 as its own thing, give Vecna his own thing, have it be like Max versus Vecna. Max, oh, I didn't know they had a flash bomb in here, cool. That is a flashbang. Max gets, you don't even have to give it a happy ending, Max gets basically season 4'd, and then you could make another season with like Holly and Derek and shit, and then Max comes in at the tail end, and then you call back to the Kate Bush stuff. That's in a perfect world, it would just all be a giant anthology TV series. I know you wanted like everyone there at once, but it didn't work as well as you wanted it to. You know what was really good about wrapping a bunch of character stories, even though it wasn't relevant? Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi is really, really good. That's one of those you have to watch it as blind as possible shows, because like there's mystery elements to it, but like you always run the risk of spoiling the giant reveal. It's one of those like, it's a murder mystery show, so you got to be careful about like what you watch with it. But what I can say about Odd Taxi is that, hey, Odd Taxi is about like 9 to 15 different characters all going about their lives. It's 13 episodes long plus a movie, but the movie's like a recap that extends the ending slightly. And it's amazing. It is insanely good at what it does. It tells one story, all of it's connected, even characters who aren't relevant, like the talk show host guys. Those guys have barely anything to do with the story, and they somehow still have a fantastic character arc. It's crazy. They're able to take everything in 13 episodes and tie it all together. 13 like 20-minute episodes too, not like, we're not talking like 40-minute episodes. Look, I know both Mob and Odd Taxi are anime, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, anime is so much better. Pluribus is fantastic as well. Pluribus is insanely good. I watch all types of TV as long as it's good. Pluribus is insanely good. Episode 1 was fantastic. I don't have Apple TV, but I have seen it throughout different sites, and it is very good. It's another Vince Gilligan classic. You know, it's another good series that the only reason it had kind of a awkward ending was because it got canceled. Venture Bros. Venture Bros is ridiculously good. They're able to balance like 95 characters as well, but because they like knew exactly what they were going to do with everything. Everything does feel planned out, even if it is all cobbled together. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, we made one thing and now we just gotta tie everything back to the one thing. Like, okay, imagine, again, going back to What If Stranger Things was an anthology. Imagine if the Upside Down was a one-off thing. For, like, multiple seasons, it was just a one-off. And then finally, like, 5 to, like, 6 series later, they finally come back to it. And it's like, whoa, that's cool. I would love that. Yeah, it's like, the final battle was like, again, it was just, Nancy's the only one who can really lure this thing away. Eleven's the only one who can fight Vecna. Everyone else just kind of scatter and throw firebombs. Because, like, at the season 5, I say again, like, season 5 just ends exactly where 1 ended. It's the Upside Down is sealed. Elle is gone. Everyone is kind of moving on. Like, essentially, we got 5 seasons to tell the same story as season 1, with the same ending and slightly more characters you care about, but weren't able to really get any time to shine to any degree in a way that matters. Like, again, you didn't have, nobody really got, like, their moment. Like, the final battle, which is the mall battle in 3, and a slightly more souped-up version of, I guess, a battle from 4, and then the ending is just 5 again, or season 1 again, with a kind of a way flimsier reason for everything kind of going the way it happened. Elle, like, yeah, like, there's the implication that Elle survived. It's pretty obvious if you watch it. This is a show that's not very subtle either. Like, I know people always, like, look for stuff, but, like, people are always saying there's, like, a huge breadcrumb trail, but, like, it... Stranger Things leaves whole loaves of bread. They don't leave a breadcrumb trail. Half the unanswered questions were stuff that was hyped up in the like, in interviews. Nothing really got asked substantially in the show that wasn't answered. We know what the Mind Flayer is, kind of. It's like an evil that is in another dimension. We basically know what happened to Henry. We saw his origin on screen, but it wasn't really, like, any different from what you could really piece together. He found a guy in a lab who was from the lab who was holding a stone that was connected to the Demogorgons or the Mind Flayer, and that's how he got into contact with them. They told a way better story about this, and apparently in a stage play that like 500 people have seen. I've heard it's really good. I wish that was just recut into like another series, and you can realize as things are going on, oh, that's Joyce and Hopper from Stranger Things. I guess all that really was different from the finale between 1 and 5 is that Nancy and Jonathan broke up because I don't know what was going on with that, honestly. That was like one of the strangest, like, I already hated the love triangle aspect because like you had like 5 seasons to stop this, and Steve is such a different character now. Why are you continuing this? It doesn't make Jonathan likable at all. And then they have like, oh, we love each other, but like we're completely at odds all the time. Maybe that crazy guy wasn't like the best at showing us the, oh my god. That scared the shit out of me. But I'm surprised also, like, they had like the whole setup with like Vicky, and then Vicky doesn't go, Vicky, like, what, potentially gets dumped after snitching on them to the army? They don't even go to the Vincenzo's? I was kind of shocked that didn't go anywhere because of how, like, it seemed like they were going to do a thing where I was like, oh, it's a heartbreaking moment. One or both of them were going to die and none of them were going to be able to, like, make it that thing. Even though, obviously, you know, it's Stranger Things. They don't do that. They don't do that until it's, like, a very disposable character. I guess she gets, like, one-off line, but I feel like, again, she felt too important to, like, just get written off like that. You have characters like Eddie who are, like, written into, like, as a way to kill off Steve without killing off Steve. And then they point out how his death was basically completely unnecessary. It's like, that's not good writing. It's also just like, again, the show's was never the best at like building and setting mysteries. Like if I was rewatching it throughout the thing, and it's like with hindsight, it's like, yeah, a lot of the stuff was already kind of told to us. Like we knew what Henry's deal was, so like teasing what happened to Henry for so long and it just being, oh, he found a rock and that's why he's like in contact with the Mind Flayers and gonna do all his shit. What's the rock? I don't know. I feel like Stranger Things, yeah, again, it just has the same problem that every series does when it like it goes too long and falls too hard in love with itself, which is just like fan expectations are gonna go through the roof. They're gonna expect to be like, they're gonna expect to need to do something like giant and bombastic, where it's like, I don't know, it never really started out that way. Things kind of escalated, but never really should have. I will also do the tavern, because the tavern's a 6 segment. And it gets you like a billion cool things. I was drinking my soda. Is he running up that thing? Oh my god. Yeah, this is research. So, I found out about, like, this is a new thing. Like, you're supposed to take this, but I don't have the room for it. Research is sick. So, I'll kind of just show what it is instead of telling. So, this is going to call, the next step to this is going to call for complete psychopathy. So I'm going to place all my items on the ground, and I'm going to place it on this, investigate this. It's going to be acided. Alright, I've collected a specimen. It's time to research. So the way research works is obviously like, I didn't need to do this, but this is for the demonstration. I sliced up this body parts. And now I've placed them on the thing. You know, just researching every body part like you do. And with that, I have now researched the Huntsman. So, it gives me some information. And a new passive perk, which is I deal way more damage against Huntsman, and also unlocks headshots. So I could just blow a Huntsman's head smooth off now. I know they're gonna add a sanity meter later to nerf you using these potions too much. But for now, I'm gonna have my fun with it. Got them. Got their asses. And now I could dump all their bodies in the basement for later use. Yeah, they better add a sanity mechanic. Well, like, they are... The sanity mechanic... This better be, tied to the potion making, because... The serum making, because you have to be such a psycho to do all this shit. It's really funny. There's 2 possible ways he can get in here. I can also get up back through the attic and fight him there, but... Okay, there he is. Whoa! Not my intention. Also, that barrel might be bad news bears, considering what I'm trying to do. Do I not have the thing? Oh boy. Should wait for that fire to die down because, like... Wait. Is he dead? Oh shit. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good. Bad news. Don't use the barrel at all. It makes the fight way easier, but it kind of destroys the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I'm learning that the explosive barrel trick is not the way to go. That I'm gonna have to, get more creative if I want my dream. I did this earlier. This is way easier. It's also like, I love that. I love that there's a tool to make this fight super easy. However, if you use it, it all but guarantees you losing out on some of the best rewards. That is sick. I love that. This is a really nice game. I know I spent like the beginning half talking about nothing but Stranger Things, but this is a very good game that I would love to talk for hours about. And I might make like a proper video on this game. Like, I didn't really want to talk about like Stranger Things like for a whole YouTube video. I know it's topical, but like, other than like what I was saying earlier about it wanting it to be like an anthology series, like it's all these great parts stuck in a hole that isn't really the best. Just because it doesn't give any of its individual parts the time to shine, because it's all great. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry I flashbanged us. I didn't realize it was going to go that quickly. Yeah, now on to the laborious process of dragging a goat man's corpse all the way over to the other area. Cool boss sequence. I like that. They give the arena just enough stuff for you to do. There's like ways to win the fight quickly, but it'll punish you in the long run. I flashbanged myself, but really the puzzle is mostly about skulking around and getting your hands on the shotgun. That's kind of the main gimmick. As I said, favorite New Blood game. I love Ultra Kill. The new Ultra Kill update looks sick. This one just has such like an insane scope and ambition to it that like really just I just wasn't expecting it to be like this good. Like there's so much stuff later too. Like we haven't even seen all the cool shit. The research is amazing, but like it gets better. It gets so much better. Hey, you know what I just realized that I haven't talked about that that is what I am talking about more. Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry is very, very good. If you haven't seen it yet, it is I wouldn't really say Stranger Things like, because again, I don't are you talking about season 1 of Stranger Things or kind of everything else? That's kind of the issue. Is it just kids fighting creatures? Because that wasn't really what Stranger Things was either. But you know, but yeah, Welcome to Derry is absurdly good. Like one of my favorite TV shows ever, basically. And the cool thing about that one is it is kind of an anthology. It's about the Black Spot massacre in that is 27 years before the events of it. And then after that is the steel mill fire, I think. It's another tragedy they show in the intro. And then the final season, I believe, is going to be the mob, like a gangster one, which will be really cool. So again, it's like an anthology. They don't need to worry about like you don't need to worry about seeing characters like Richie and like I guess you'll see their like descendants and like ancestors and stuff, but they don't need to have like, oh, the 9 losers are all like coalescing together. Here's like a bunch of different losers from history all coalescing together to fight Pennywise. That might happen. I hope it doesn't, because that would basically just create the exact problem Stranger Things has. Keep them isolated to their own stories. The stories have been told. You don't really need any more insight into anyone. I know Finn Wolfhard might be involved as like kind of a linchpin type thing. Yeah, just keep it like that. Keep it as like miniature cameos, or like, oh, your name is oh, you're the mom of Richie in Stranger I mean, like stuff like that. I think that one has like that was very good because it has like a very, well, again, it's another one of those things where like the military stuff is in it, and it's kind of stupid. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh me, oh my, how I wish the military subplot just didn't happen, because it was kind of stupid. But I thought it was dumb, and then when they explained it more, it made more sense. It was a lot more like topical than I was expecting. It was like, okay, it's not about Pennywise. It was about like kind of evil influence that makes people kind of subservient and fearful, so they wouldn't be like asking for too much. It would be more like subservient America. And then the main villain is like, we're gonna get you patched up, son, to like Pennywise's like frozen body, and then as soon as he snaps out of it, he eats the guy, because that's the only thing you could do with his character. Right? It was a very satisfying villain death. Not to say it wasn't earned. The idea of having that was kind of dumb. I get they needed a reason to like destroy the barrier for the conflict to happen, but you already had Periwinkle. It doesn't seem like he was like not allowed to talk about it either. He didn't seem to give a shit about his daughter until she was like super useful, and even then he like gave up on her because she genuinely just mistook him for her dad. which is a really cool plot point. I love that the whole plot line. And I was kind of sad when like the military kind of went out to be the main force in the finale, because it was like that's just stupid. So, how does one sneak into here? It's simple. We walk through the front door. I want plenty of money for the new update because I have no idea what's in store for me. Plus some serums. Not bad. I could probably sell these too, because like I'm not really going to be needing these. I'm either going to like gorge on like 100 foods, or I'm going to glide through an area flawlessly. There's no in between. Honestly, I think out of all the areas in Gloomwood currently, I think the fishery and this are like perfect. I think the caves need like... The caves need something. I don't know what, but the caves need something still. I think extra side areas are kind of just band-aids for like a bigger issue, which is like the caves are very linear. These are very open. If you can't tell, my next playthrough is going to look nothing like this. And it's a cool area. You get a lot of cool stuff in it. The caves have a cool like hidden area you come back to later probably, but I don't know. It takes up so much time. I don't want to be one of those guys like, you should do this. You should do this. Especially because, like, this game just got updated. They just added the new area. They're adding a fucking bank later on. Like, realistically, I'm very well fed. But if you had to twist my arm and tell me, okay, find one flaw with this game, I could very quickly say, yeah, the caves need, like, something more. Alright. Now time for my master plan. Hello, friends. So, if you can't tell what I've just done, I've injected myself with a serum that turns me into the enemies, and this turns me into the huntsman. So if I do this, I could like see the guys that are on the floor. But this thing is on a timer, so I have a very short amount of time to be doing this. Hello. I should get the fuck out of here ASAP. Because... Oh boy, it's wearing off. Ah, damn it. What? Oh, okay. Okay, it did. Haha, bitches. That was very clumsy. I kind of wasted some time. I should have injected myself like way earlier, but I made it to the city where everything's slightly choppy. I don't know if you can see this too. It's like slightly choppy for me. It's driving me fucking insane. There are things brewing in this area. If you can't tell by the horrific sounds, creatures are here. Oh boy, I think they changed the watercolor here too. This is like more blue than I remember it being. I might be going crazy. I have not played this game in a while. Like, I was waiting for like a full district update before I dove back in. Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh boy. Oh, cool. I'll keep that guy alive. He will assist me well. I need another specimen. Oh boy. Can I just bring this guy all the way back to the lab? Because if I can, that'd be hilarious. No, I did. I actually might have done this exact thing. Oh, actually, hang on. I could do both. I could try something crazy. Whoa. I haven't been here before. Oh my gosh, I haven't been here before. There's another tavern now. Sorry, now we're in like new discovery mode. I'm into it. I'm into it. Yeah, as I said, I was talking about Stranger Things a lot last stream, but I feel like I'm not quite done yet with everything. Mostly just like, again, the case of like, the way I see, apparently people really want there to be an actual finale. Like, you know, like there's a secret 7th episode finale. I don't know how you could do that, but people are not fully satisfied with the ending. And again, like, looking into it more, there's a lot more like stuff where everything feels like a spectacle. Every scene in it like feels like it's very far away from what it originally was, where it was like, okay, like, you know, Joyce and Hopper were like the main characters of season 1 pretty much. Like the main 4 did stuff because they had a space to do stuff, but they kind of made it a spectacle without like actively giving anyone a good enough role for it. Like, as I said, I've said it before, Dustin and Nancy are like the 2 useful ones, and eventually Will and Elle, but Elle and Hopper get stuck in the Upside Down for like most of the finale, or like the final season. Like, for supposedly being Elle's send-off, she basically gets no time with anyone. Will kind of gets all of her stuff, which is like, fine, you're finally doing something properly with Will, but like, at what cost? Yeah, just, that's kind of the big issue is like with the finale is like, again, like, there were too many characters and everything needed to be the big scene, but not enough characters had like enough of like the ability to like shine compared to the others. Like, Mike like completely falls by the wayside. Yeah, Lucas gets a lot like because of Max, but like, and Dustin is because he's a genius. Mike just gets nothing. It's kind of surprising, especially considering his sister's like has such a major role in this too. It's like he's like the of all the Wheelers, he somehow becomes like the second most like non-useful out of all of them, which is insane. He gets so close to his dad in terms of like, you know, the Wheelers that don't really have a spot. And I think another, like, I think I said this yesterday, and I feel like I should expand on this, because, like, it's very easy to misinterpret this, or, like, assume I'm talking about, like, oh, the show, like, sucks, because I don't think that. Again, I think when the show was good, I liked it a lot, and then I had the same kind of take where, like, when the show started getting too flashy and too, like, against what it originally was, I started to, like, drop a little bit, and Season 5 reeled me back in a little bit. But then, like, the more I remembered stuff, the less it felt like... The more Season 5 went on, the more I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of remember what, like, started turning me off of the show. It was, like, the non-stop, the non-stop emphasis on stuff that just kind of... The non-stop, like, emphasis on everything, rather than just, like, giving small moments where everyone's like sitting at a dinner table and having like different things. Like, my home base. Alright. You will see what I'm about to do and why I'm about to do it. Actually, I'll bring this with me. Okay, first things first. Guns go on the bed. I don't need sleep. So why am I doing all this, you might ask? Why am I taking every single item out of my inventory and trying to place it to be nice? To look nice? Well, you see, the reason why is because we're going to backtrack. That's right, this game has a fast travel system. And it's fucking sick. It's so cool. It's like, what the hell am I? Where am I? Alright. So, first mirror, of course, is the one in here. And look at this! We're back in, How much shit do I have left? See, so the way you sell items is...
Doctor, you look as if you've seen a ghost. Here, take this key. You'll need it to get into the underboard. I've been told a shield is located within the tunnels there.
And then watch the money grow. That nets me a very hefty sum of money. I probably could have sold. I could got like a way bigger payday, but so our next step, I guess, is to rob the gun store. God damn, that upgrade hits. Like, that is a very noticeable upgrade. I think when it comes to talking about stuff, it's always like, when I like stuff enough, I don't want to like spoil a lot of it. But when it's stuff that I don't, when it's stuff that I think is fine, but have like bits and bobs that bother me, I feel like I could talk about it for like hours. Like, again, with Stranger Things, it's like, I could, just because of how like, okay, like, the way it goes is, I thought it was fine. If Stranger Things was only season 1, I would genuinely be like, yep, I love Stranger Things. Don't watch anything else. Like, don't watch any like reviews or anything of it. Just go in as blind as possible. That's what you need to do. Nowadays, it's like, there's so much shit that, like, just happened, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think Stranger Things is that great at, like, building mystery, at least nowadays. I know a lot of people were saying how many, like, unanswered questions there were, but a lot of the stuff that was unanswered just ended up being said in, like, interviews and stuff before the season was aired to, like, promote it. So I never fully got, like, oh, what happened to, who opened the door to let the Demogorgon in to kidnap Will? Probably Vecna? Like, probably just Vecna. Like, I know they said it wasn't Vecna because it was like, ooh, who could it be? There's a new force out there. But it's like, it was probably just him. They had a flashback of him watching Holly and the other candidates, like, even back then. And especially season 5 was really bad about this. Where, like, none of the questions they really answered mattered. Like, who was Mr. What's-It? Oh, it's Vecna. Okay. What is the Upside Down? I think the Upside Down is like the biggest one where it's like, oh, it's like a wormhole between dimensions. It's not the alternate dimension. Yeah, it's like, I feel like everything they set up at 5 is so like it was so it was like, who cared? Like, again, like, oh, Vecna is the guy that was the other. There wasn't like a third. I thought Mr. What's-It was gonna be like a good. I think that's the thing. At the very beginning of season 5, I thought it was great. It got me sucked into it again. It was like, okay, like, you're setting up all these weird mysteries. Vecna potentially got all fucked up and is like just being held captive by the military right now. And he's trying to like trick Holly into like freeing him. And then no, it was every time. Excuse me. Oh my god, sorry. I had a long day yesterday. Every time they set up a question that got me hooked, they answered it in probably like the lamest. They gave it like the lamest answer possible. Like, oh, who's Mr. Oh, there's another person inside the Upside Down. Like, why did you have to spend a whole episode revealing that Mr. What's-It was Vecna? Like, that was very, very obvious. Oh, who is? It's like, there's another force in the Upside Down. No, it's just Vecna again. Oh, so everything the villain intended to do, said he was going to do, happened, and then everything the heroes said they were going to do happened. That doesn't really, there's no real subversion there of like anything. All we kind of watched were like the show itself kind of choreographed everything it was going to do exactly how it went, and then everyone in the interviews apparently went like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. The key word of the season is traitor. there's 5 confirmed deaths, and I guess all of them were just soldiers. He didn't say main character deaths, he just said deaths. It's gonna have the bloodiest kill ever. It's like, no, Vecna's getting beheaded wasn't really that, like... It wasn't that crazy. I'm glad Joyce got the final blow. She deserved it, and it probably fixed an issue of season 1 that my friend was talking about. Is like, despite everything that happened, Joyce really didn't get, like... They didn't even interact with the Demogorgon. Why was the Abyss, like, as friendly and empty as the Upside Down? Like, you turn the Upside Down from this, like, hazardous place that they had to wear gas masks to go to, like, a place everyone would just show up in randomly, to, here's a new, more dangerous event that mutated Henry. And then that place was, like, kind of a non-threat, too, because there was no real army of Demogorgon. Basically, had their plan succeeded, they would have transported, like, chunks of Arizona into, wherever the hell their hometown is located. So yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things where, like, so much shit they apparently set up in the interviews that just wasn't present in the show at all. And I know people are like, oh, why did they answer these questions? Like, because the show never asked those questions. I really wish Steve and Robin were in their own thing. However, I wish that story was still told in the same, like, town, and it was about them. And you can still have the main 4 as, like, people he's, like, friends with and mentoring, but just have them show up. Don't have to worry about having to balance them alongside Steve. Their story got told. It'd be cool to see them again, but they don't need to have nearly as much importance as, like, they would in their own thing in a show that's centered around Steve and Robin. That's kind of what I was trying to get at yesterday, and I feel like I didn't really articulate it that well, because I kind of worded it like, you could interpret it as I was asking people to cut a bunch of beloved characters. Like, again, like, I feel like a big issue with a lot of the hype for the season was that, like, obviously, it's the return to Stranger Things after, like, 3 years. You're not gonna... I can't, like, blame the fans for getting hyped about it. But at the same time, like, I feel like you should not be lying in interviews. You shouldn't be like, oh, this crazy shit's gonna happen. This is gonna be the bloodiest season of Stranger Things yet. This is gonna be a dark Christmas. And then none of that really comes to pass at all. Stranger Things Season 5 seemed to be about the marketing promising a way cooler season than people actually got, which is very unfortunate for the final season. Yeah, I think it's very easy to interpret, like, what I'm saying as I don't like Stranger Things. It's easy to interpret what I'm saying as, like, I don't like Stranger Things, and I would say that's not true, as I do like it. Again, it's one of those things that if I didn't like it this much, I wouldn't be, like, this hard on, like, the whole how much I wish this was like an anthology, how much I wish characters just got a different times to shine, how much I wish you kind of restructured it as, like, all these cool ideas work in a vacuum. Again, Robin and Steve versus the Goose Spider, have the plot in season 4 where they try to be each other's wingman that goes nowhere, even though I love it. Like, have that be the whole premise. Like, that'd be amazing. And then the villain be the Goose Spider, and that would be top tier TV. Hey, a mortar and pestle. I was using one of those recently to make some, like, there's a certain, like, spice at a halal place that I couldn't get my hands on, you know, locally. So I had to, like, I got these dried vegetable toppings, and I ground them up in a mortar and pestle, alongside some coriander, I believe. And apparently that was, like, a substitute, but next time I'll try to find the actual sauce. I do know there are halal places locally I can look into. Alright, you know what I'll bring? Let's get our inventory sorted. God, this game is good. I love sorting my inventory. It's so satisfying. So the cool thing about this area is that this is the underport from the pre-alpha demo. Like, well, no, there was a pre-alpha demo that basically existed with it was three it was very small districts. There was like a small prison, there was like kind of like a main area, and then there was the like the harbor / port area. And that entrance right there that we just went through was from the pre-alpha demo, which is great. And now this is not yeah, this is not what the pre-alpha demo looked like at all. This is I kind of forgot how cool this area looks.
All seems quiet now. I see.
Okay, you know what? Hello. Oh. I just walked through that area like no problem. Oh, it's probably gonna wear off in a minute, so I should probably get the fuck out of here. Whew. What the fuck? It's nice to be back in the Underport, though. I feel like I've done the city so many times that it's like, if you can't tell by me kind of trailing off and dying a lot, like I glaze over a little bit when it comes to that section. Not to say like there's anything wrong with it. It's like I'm not gonna be like, oh, it should be doing this, 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 and this instead. It's like, no, it's doing everything it needs to do. It's just I've played this game a lot. Oh. I did not realize there were things over there. Yeah, that's a... yeah, this is, monsters are going to start appearing. Like, we know we had the bat guys already, but, are you ready for the thing that made me fall in love with this game? I sure am not. Another save station, thank God. Alright, wait a minute, I just realized. With my new jump upgrade... There was always like kind of a skip that is like sort of easy now that that was like hard because you couldn't like quite make the jump. But if I just oh yeah, look at that. I have officially broken in. Yeah. My next target. Shipping company. Now I'm just straight up inside the building I need to go to. Ah, boy. Oh my god! I didn't realize how quick they were. Like, how close together they were. Well, I guess, having a shotgun doesn't really mean shit. Oh, there's no handle. Ah. Which means that, we're gonna have to go in here. Oh my god! What the hell? Holy shit, what was that? I thought I was safe.